Alright guys, I'm going to take you through how to get this program going with Karel. Just the basics, and just starting from where we left off yesterday. So again, when I open this up, this is my sample we started with in class yesterday. When I open this up, here's the code. Now first hour we forgot to do something here. You need to make sure that this right here is the name of your class. You need to make sure that we type in implements directions. This allows us to use north, south, east, and west so that we can put the robot where we want. Okay? So I've got it here, and again, as I said, we import Karel the robot every time. We get public class, the name of our class, implements directions. Then we go down, and all of this is going to be copied and pasted. Okay? So I'm going to go through this again. This is the main entry point of the program. Public static void main string bracket args. That never changes. That stays the same. Then we have a delimiter. Then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our world that we made in Karel world visible and load. Okay? So we're going to just copy and paste this code right here. Now when we're looking at it, this line right here makes the world appear. So we put true in parentheses. This one says world.readWorld, and then it loads the world that we made. You have to make sure that you change this to the name of the world that you saved. Remember, all of those files should be in the same folder, such as in BlueJ 2014. Yours will say chapter 2, I believe. Okay, and then we set the delay. This makes the robot move different speeds. We're going to leave it at 30 for now. Alright, so we have that put in. The next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and create the robot and have it put in the world where we need it to start. So as I said, the robot comes from the robot class. So we say robot, and then we give the robot a name. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Karel. Okay? We'll put an equal sign. That's going to equal a new, which is a reserved word. You see a different color. Robot. And then in parentheses, I'm going to put the starting location, direction, and number of beepers that I want the robot to have when the program starts. In this case, for the sample, we want him to be at 1 First Street and First Avenue, facing east with a capital E, with 0 beepers in his beeper bag. And then I always end that line with a semicolon. Okay? Once I have those 4 lines of code put in, again, you can just copy and paste that whole thing in any program we do. Change the name of the Karel world, change the location of the robot where it starts. Okay? Once we do that, we are ready to type in our methods. Okay? These are the instructions that will give the robot. Alright. So whenever I give instructions, I have to use the name of the robot, in this case Karel. Then I use a dot signifying a method, and then I use one of the 5 primitive methods that we have. In this case we have move, pick beeper, put beeper, turn left, and turn off. Okay? So remember, in this world I'm at 1 starting. I need to go to 1 5, and then I need to pick up the beeper, and then I need to go to 5 and pick up the beeper. So I go in here and I say something like this. Name of the robot, Karel, dot, and I'm at 1 so I need to just move because I'm already facing east. So I say move. Open close parentheses, that signifies the method, and then I put a semicolon. So that right there is the method that makes me move to 1 2. Now what I want you to do is I want you to make sure that you comment on this. So I put // Karel is now at 1 2 facing east. Very simple. Okay? Karel.move again. / 1 3 facing east. Karel.move again. / 1 4 facing east. And Karel.move. Now he's at 1 5 facing east. So I have him to this location. There's a beeper sitting there because that's where I put the first beeper. Karel dot pick beeper. Open close parentheses semicolon. This is going to allow him to pick up the beeper. So in this case my comment will say he's at 1 5 facing east, and now he has 1 beeper in his beeper bag. So now he's facing east at 1 5. I need him to go up to 5 5. Well, in order to go up, he's going to have to turn left. Okay? So Karel dot turn left. Now he's at 1-5 facing north. I don't need to include the beepers anymore. I already know he has one. And now I'm going to have him move the 5-5, so he's facing up. So Karel dot move. This means that now his street is going to change. Avenue is going to stay the same. So now he's at 2-5 facing north. Karel dot move. Now he's at 3-5 facing north. Karel dot move. Now he's at 4-5 facing north. Karel dot move. Now he's at 5-5 facing north. So we've got him to that point. There's another beeper sitting at 5-5. So now we tell him to do the same thing. Karel dot pick beeper. Now in this case, so now he's at 5-5 facing north, and now he has two beepers. In a lot of cases, you'll have the robot return home. We're not going to do that for this example. At that point, we're simply going to have him turn off. So Karel dot turn off. So now he's turned off. Now the one thing I want to make sure, so there's my main method. So my main method consists of this. I have to make sure that I have a closing delimiter, and when I click right here, you'll notice that it highlights its corresponding opening delimiter. So I have that there, and then as you can see, here is the closing delimiter for the class, and you can see that corresponds. Once I've done that, okay, I'm ready to see if I have any errors. So if I press compile, it'll say class compiled, no syntax errors. Now let me just show you if I mess something up. Let's say a syntax error. Let's say I forgot a semicolon right here. What would happen? Well, I get done, I click on compile, and it will tell me, oh, you have an error, here's a highlight, you're missing a semicolon. So I go in here, I can type the semicolon, press compile, boom. What if I capitalized this Karel? So I did that, okay, so right there, and I press compile. It's going to say, cannot find variable Karel. Well, Karel here was a lowercase k. Here it's an uppercase. We're going to say case matters. So I put lowercase there, okay. So it'll always highlight where your error is. Sometimes you'll be able to find it, sometimes you'll have some help, okay. So again, if you get it right, it compiles no syntax errors. BlueJ automatically saves, so I close that out. Now I'm ready to run it. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to void main. This is the main method. So when I click on this, it's going to pull up, and you might have to move some things around, but it should pull up the Karel world, and we should see Karel execute. So here we go. Void main. I click on OK, and there goes Karel. Picks up the beeper, turns left, picks up the beeper, and turns off. And the program's done. Okay? So again, and then I also have, I'll show you one more time. As this runs, there it goes up, picks the beeper, turns off. You see right here, this little terminal window tells me every single step that Karel took, where he was, the number of beepers he had, and what he did. So it ended right there. This is where it started over. Ended at 5-5, Street 5, Avenue 5, 2 beepers, facing north, and he turned off. Real simple, pretty cool. Okay? So I can close that out, be done with it. So now, as you start to build your new classes, you can simply say, all right, I'm going to make a new class, and you can call this whatever the program is. So one of the first ones you're going to do is called around the block. So we'll just call it block. So you click on block there, and you have that sitting there. Remember, when you go into it, we highlight everything in between here, and we delete. So it says public class block. Don't forget to put import Karel the robot dot star, okay, and then with a semicolon, and then implements directions here. Now again, I can always copy and paste. Now here's what I want to do. So as I'm making a new one, I'm going to go in here to the old one that we just did together. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste these lines right here. Control C. I'm not going to copy the methods that I put in. Okay. I go back in here to block. I paste that in. And now I'm going to change this to block. Okay, so when I go block here, I save that, and then I'm going to make sure that I change this when I'm ready to put him in a different spot, because he's going to be in a different spot for this one. Then remember, what you have to do is you have to go to the jar, open it up, and you have to build the next one. So again, this one looks something like this. Again, I'm just kind of putting it together. It's not exactly like this, but it's close enough. So in this one, I'm going to have Karel start here. He's going to walk around the block and get back to the starting point. Very, very simple process. I'm just going to look at this and make sure, boom, 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 he goes through. I can also keep this open. Remember, when I save, I click on save. I have to be in that same folder that I had sample in, where it says chapter 2. And then when I save it, I just save it as block.kwld. Now I have the Karel world in there. So I save that. Once I save it, I can close it. And go back to BlueJ. Here's block, and what do? I change this to block right here. And now I can put them where I want, and then I put my instructions in. So that's kind of how you get started. Use this tutorial, use the example, use the sample to guide you through the programs you're going to work through. Okay? Good luck. If you have any questions, just feel free to email me.